The views and the opinions that are expressed on the Monte Carlo show are not necessarily those of his guests or sponsors. Viewer listening and discretion is advised. Welcome to another episode of the Monte Carlo show.
I'd like to welcome y'all to the Monte Carlo show. Hey. Oh my God. Up Entertainment. I'm about to take you on a wild ride. It's the Monte Carlo show. We got a lot to discuss. We in the manosphere and every topic is up. The hello with shalom. The plan and effect is to level up your own. Be the best version of yourself and measure up your own. We all got dreams. Set a schedule for your role when you're setting up your goals. We hard working. This the channel for the truth. It's beyond purpose. Getting paper cut green like a lawn service. This a black man channel. I know y'all nervous, but we at y'all service. Anything you want to talk about, let's talk about it. The Monte Carlo show, the truth, we all about it. Perspectives, social push objectives, and we ain't gonna stop till our message is effective. These days, hating is selective, but the Monte Carlo show will always be respected. It's the Monte Carlo show. Come take this ride with us. It's the Monte Carlo show. If you got drive, you up. It's the Monte Carlo show. We getting the streets right, on the road to riches, and every light's a green light. It's the Monte Carlo show. It's the Monte Carlo. It's the Monte Carlo show. It's the Monte Carlo. It's the Monte Carlo show. It's the Monte Carlo. It's the Monte Carlo show. It's the Monte Carlo show.
Yeah, man. What's up? What's happening with you? What's happening with you? What's happening with you? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Monte Carlo show. I am your host, Monte Carlo. And today's topic is surviving a toxic baby mama. Surviving a toxic baby mama. Just like, I said before, there's no particular, topic or subject that I won't, touch on or address. I don't like really talking about, my personal life, to a certain extent. But however, this is a way, I created this channel, not just, for men, men that need a platform that they can relate to, but also built this channel because it is it's a part of like me just giving myself therapy, and it also document, certain life experiences that I've had, and I just want to, talk about surviving a toxic baby mom. Now, of course, I'm not going to use her name, we're going to call her JC. Yeah, her name is JC. Her and I, we met, I want to say about, our daughter is 13 years old. I want to say we met about 14 and a half, 15 years ago. And truth be told, we met on we met online. She's from another state or whatever. Let's start with that. She's from Florida. And when we met, I was going through a lot of stuff. I was going through things with my immediate family at the time, and I ended up wanting to get away from my state of South Carolina. So I decided that I wanted to move down to Florida and try to start a new life and just start over, just hit the reset button on my life, because I was really dealing with a lot. At the time. So, you know, I ended up moving down to Florida, and things started off well. Um, her and I both had a boy, sons at the time. She has, a son that's the same age as my son. They're both actually the same age right now, of course, but, I moved down there and, got a condo, stuff like that, and, furnished it out, made sure, everything was good to go, and, made sure that she didn't really have to worry about too much. At that time, I was doing okay for myself. And, just kind of to summarize everything, because this is going to be honestly maybe about a 3-part episode series or whatever, because I'm pretty much covering my experiences in this situation from a span of 12 to 14 years. So, that's why I'm going to break this up. But, I've moved down there and moved to Orlando, and, everything was okay initially. Everything was all right. Made a lot of friends down there. Shout out to all my Haitian friends down there in Orlando, Florida. Shout out to all my friends in general, but I really was able to get acquainted with a lot of people of the Haitian culture while I was down there, along with a lot of other people. Florida is very well diverse, as you guys all know. But anyway, so, things started off, well. I had arrangements with my son's mom to where, I can get him, every 3 months or so. So for 3 months, I'll have him. 3 months, she'll have him, or whatever, while I was staying down there. But, things started getting real rocky, shortly thereafter. It just got to the point where I think the first thing that I could remember that she started to do that threw up some red flags was that when my son would come down there, now I have to be honest, his mother was living indecent type of lifestyle. And, JC, who is my daughter's mom, she claimed to be some, when I asked her, of course I like to, get background stories of people, especially, women, if I'm trying to be in a relationship with them and stuff like that. So, she pretty much was saying that she come from a line of, prayer warriors and prophetesses and all this other stuff. And, just she's in tune with the Most High and all that other stuff. So I thought, I was like, okay, this sounds pretty cool, whatever. But lo and behold, that was short-lived, because it seems like when my son would come down there and I would have my son for those few months at a time, she would make smart comments about him because of how his mother's life was. And she really felt like, he was bringing bad energy into our home whenever he came down there, which I didn't see that. I really didn't see that. And this is my firstborn child. So, we would go out places and stuff like that, and I would have my son on my shoulder, just, how you have your baby on your shoulder, holding them up or whatever the case may be. We go out places and I have him up on my shoulder. She would have her son, holding her son's hand, and we walking and we just doing our thing. And, she made statements about him. She'd be like, get that thing off of your shoulders. Get that thing. She would address him as that thing. And I had to tell her, like, listen, my son has a name. Stop calling him that thing. I don't like that. I feel like that's really rude. It's disrespectful. And, she would laugh it off or whatever the case may be. And, and I kept it. It wasn't one time this happened. It was multiple times that this has happened. And I would be like, man, look, my son has a name. Stop calling my son that thing. I don't talk to your son like that. I don't call him out of his name. I call your son by his name. And I expect for you to show me that same respect. but she would refer to my son as that thing.
What?
Yeah, she would refer to my son as that thing.
What?
Yeah. So, you know, I would be like, you know, just stop. So anyway, that turned into her, you know, she likes to talk. She loves to talk. She's a fast talker. You know, she's a fast talker. Her mind just, you know what I'm saying, she just, I don't know, I can't really describe it or explain it too much, but she'll be talking about one thing at one time, and then she'll laugh, and then all of a sudden she'll talk about a whole other thing, and then go from that to another thing, and it's just everywhere sometimes. And I be having to reel it back in, you know, but anyway. So it got to the point where she, you know, had her mother come by our townhouse, and it was like, you know, her mom is religious as well. You know, apparently like she said, they come from a long line of prophetesses and prayer warriors and all these godly women and stuff like that. So anyway, one time her mother came over, man, I just remember, you know, me and her were getting into arguments and stuff. And I don't even remember what the arguments were about, because I was taking care of the bills. I was taking care of her son. And this is the thing I want to point out right now, because we're going to revisit this later on, because this is very important. Every time I would buy something for my son, she'd make sure I got something for her son. You know, we'd go to the outlets and stuff down there, and, you know, I'm down there getting my son some Oshkosh B'gosh and buying him shoes and, you know, making sure he's squared away. And, you know, she'd be like, you know, well, my son needs stuff too. My son wants this, that, and the other too. I'm like, all right, man, whatever, you know, go ahead. You know, pick him out some clothes, you know, get him something, you know, get him some stuff. Cool. Because she claiming that his dad, you know, his father wasn't in his life and didn't want nothing to do with him. And, you know, at that time, my son was about maybe, I want to say about 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old. And, you know, so pretty much everything I did for my son, I did for her son. Even to the point, you know, even to where, you know, when I got my son his haircuts, and I would get my haircut, I got her son haircut. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much treated him like he was my own. I did. I treated him like he was my own. And got to the point where, you know, she was just talking so much, you know, evil about my son, that her mom came over to our home, to where we lived in the townhouse, and, you know, was sprinkling holy water, you know, all over the place and stuff. It was crazy. And I was looking at her like, you know, like, what, like, lady, what are you doing? Like, you coming in my house, sprinkling holy water because your daughter telling you that my son bringing spirits and stuff in the house and all this other nonsense, all this craziness, man, craziness. So, you know, whatever, told, you know, my son's mom about the whole situation, you know, because that's our child, you know what I'm saying? So I told my son's mom about the situation, and she didn't like it, of course. I didn't like it. I thought it was definitely, you know, I thought it was really disrespectful for her to do something like that. Especially when it comes to my only child at that time. So I ended up leaving. You know, make kind of this portion of the story, I'm gonna try to shorten it. But, you know, we were together down there for about, I want to say our lease was about, I think we made like a year and we signed a lease on a year and a half. But I was down there for about a year or so. And I ended up leaving because, you know, we just kept getting into little arguments and stuff about my child, about my son. And I really didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really irked me that she was making such a big deal out of my son. So I ended up leaving. And then another thing that made me leave too, not only were we arguing over nonsense concerning my son, but unfortunately at that time, my mother, she had developed cancer. And, I remember it like it was yesterday. I mean, this was before I left that my mom, my mother revealed to me that she had terminal cancer. Now, shout out to everybody, all the ladies out there that have won the war against breast cancer. My mother started off by having breast cancer, and then unfortunately, once she beat that, it spread. The cancer spread, and it became terminal. And unfortunately, I lost my mother in the midst of me, living in Florida. And I was there. This was before I left. That I'll never forget. Me and her are arguing, we going through things or whatever, and I'm frustrated with her. But then my mom is dealing with what she's dealing with, and like I said, unfortunately, I lost my mom. So I ended up having to come home to tend to that. Then I went back to Florida, of course, and then unfortunately, for some reason, even after I lost my mother, we were still arguing and just having, just unnecessary arguments between the two of us concerning my son. And I just didn't understand it. I just, even to this day, I don't understand it. And so I ended up leaving. I came back to South Carolina, you know what I'm saying? So on a little hiatus for a minute, you know what I'm saying? And just came back to South Carolina, man, and just, I thought it was over with, and I thought it was over with. So took it there and just kind of was on hiatus for a minute. We were talking on the phone, we were talking on the phone. And, we reconciled pretty much. We reconciled. I wasn't back home for no more than maybe a month or two, something like that, maybe. Anyway, I ended up going back down to Florida after her and I reconciled, and we was, she understood. I, had to tell her from a distance, I guess, why I was feeling the way I felt and why I left. So anyway, I ended up going back down to Florida, and we still had the same place, and of course, I still had the same arrangements to get my son. And what happened next was crazy, because as time went on, we were still having these little spats. And I would tell my son's mom about the arguments we would have concerning our son. And, my son's mom, of course, she just had bad blood towards JC, said person, JC, due to the interactions that we had. Because like I said, a lot of the interactions that we had was based on her feeling like my son was bringing bad energy and bad spirits into our home, because she's so religious, right? She's so in tune with the Most High. So anyway, as time went on, after I, left and I came back, she kept, doing the same thing. Just kept kind of being negative towards my son, while I'm treating her son like he's my own. And I'm not treating her son no different than mine. I was simping, simping, just, just taking somebody else's child in while you're treating my child, like he's a problem. Now, her son's dad, he ain't no angel. Man done been locked up in prison. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't active in his son's life at all. At all. She ain't had nothing but negative things to say about him, the whole time I was down there. Well, he's an absentee dad, and he don't do this and he don't do that, and blase, all this other stuff. All this negative stuff she had to say about him, which I saw for myself, but out of her mouth alone, she never had nothing good to say about him. Even to this day, she doesn't. But it came to the point where our lease was about to be up in the it was a townhouse. It's like a condo or a townhouse. I don't remember. It doesn't even matter. But it was a nice spot. And it was coming to the point where our lease was about to be up. And what she ended up doing was what made me completely leave the situation alone. It made me, this was the second time that I actually left her. What she did was, she, as we got closer and closer to us, either renewing the lease or we was actually planning on moving to another unit in that same building or whatever. It was going to be the same layout pretty much. But what she was doing was she pretty much she told me that my son had to go back with his mom, had to come back to South Carolina with his mom, and that he couldn't stay with us. Let me rewind it real quick. So like I said before, I would treat her son like I treat my son. Whatever I bought for my son, tried to get for hers. Whenever he needed a haircut, I got my son, myself, and her son haircuts. And our barber would actually come to the house, come to the spot and cut our hair. He was a mobile barber. And so, whatever. Side note. But, we got closer and closer to the time for us to renew the lease or, not renew, or I think we decided that we wanted to move to another unit. And she made it seem like, well, my son couldn't be there. I had to send him back with his mom. And I remember distinctively her making a statement saying, hey, it's a lot of dads out here that only see their kids, maybe once or twice a year. They don't mind them being with their mom and this, that, and other. And I knew that the way that my son's mom was living at the time, I knew that wasn't a good environment for my son to be in. I knew it. But I wanted to be fair and still have my son be with his mother because that's his mother. You know what I'm saying? But she was making it seem like he needed to be there with her full time. And I wasn't having it. My only child, my firstborn son, I wasn't having it. So I ended up leaving again because you're not going to make me choose. You're not going to make me choose between you and my child. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Oh no. No, 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 no. Oh no. No, 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 no.
Yeah, so she made me choose between her and my son.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Bruh, she really made me choose between either being with her or letting my son go with his mom.
What?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that blew my mind because I'm like, how you gonna make me choose between you and my son, my only son, when I'm sitting here doing good by you, treating your son like I treat my own? How does that even make sense? What type of person, especially somebody that proclaims to know the Most High, that proclaims to come from a line of prophetesses and prayer warriors, all these powerful women in the Lord and stuff like that? How you gonna make me choose between you and my son? And the worst part about it is, by the time this happened, of course, she got pregnant. By the time I came back, when I left the first time and came back, she got pregnant with our daughter. And, and like I said, she got pregnant with our daughter. We was living the lease out. By the time my daughter was born, my daughter's probably only about 2 months old, maybe about 2 months old, going on 3 months old, maybe. By the time I had to leave her the second time because she wanted me to choose between her and my son. And I wasn't having it. I wasn't going for it. You know what I'm saying? So I left. I ended up coming back to South Carolina. That was it. And that was it. But I want y'all to remember something because I'm gonna wrap this up. Like I said, this is gonna be like I want to say a 3, maybe 4 part series. series episodes, you know what I'm saying, episode series or whatever, because there's a lot of things I need to cover that transpired over the last 12 to 14 years or so. You know, I would say 14 years, 14, 15 years, you know, whatever, 14 going on 15 years. It's a lot of things that transpired I got to break down. Now, I want y'all to remember something. Remember I told y'all, and this is very important, I told y'all about the barber, right? They used to come to the house and cut my hair, cut my son's hair, cut her son's hair. Yeah. We're going to get into that on the next episode. But listen, I just wanted to come on, you know what I'm saying, and share this portion of this particular episode series. And we're going to revisit this on the next one. Like I said, today's title is Surviving a Toxic Baby Mama. Now, fellas, I'm sure that if you're a good father, we say Abba, or, you know, in Hebrew it's called Abba. You know, I'm sure that for those of y'all that want to be in your child's life, I would hope that you would never choose a woman over your children, especially if she's not the biological parent, the biological, you know, mother of the child. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that you know, I'm sure that most good men, most good fathers, most good abbas would never even consider. You know, that woman got to go. That woman has to go. And I just want to, you know, like I said, put this into the archives. We're going to revisit this on part 2 of Surviving a Toxic Baby Mama. And we're just going to, you know, leave it there. Once again, this is more on a serious note, you know what I'm saying? Usually I'm covering things where we can have a little bit more fun, but this is for the guys out there, you know, the men out there that's, you know, wanting to be good fathers and have experienced things. And I'm definitely interested to hear about some of y'all stories as well once I finish recording all this and all this is said and done. You know, this is just therapy for me. You know, it's therapy for me, man. And I appreciate y'all, you know what I'm saying, for tuning in once again to another episode of the Monte Carlo Show. I'm your host, Monte Carlo. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one, man. Just remember, when you see me, say shalom. I'll see y'all on the next one, all right? Let's go.
I'd like to welcome y'all to the Monte Carlo Show. Entertainment. I'm about to take you on a wild ride. It's the Monte Carlo Show. We got a lot to discuss. We in the manosphere and every topic is up. The hello with shalom. The plan in effect is the level of your home. Be the best version of yourself and measure up your own. We all got dreams. Set a schedule for your role when you're setting up your goals. We hard working. This the channel for the truth. This beyond purpose. Getting paper cut green like a lawn service. This a black man channel. I know y'all nervous, but we at y'all service. Anything you want to talk about, let's talk about it. The Monte Carlo Show, the truth, we all about it. Perspectives, social push objectives. And we ain't gonna stop till our message is effective. These days, hating is selective, but the Monte Carlo Show will always be respected. It's the Monte Carlo Show. Come take this ride with us. It's the Monte Carlo Show. If you got drive, you up. It's the Monte Carlo Show. We getting the streets right. On the road to riches, and every light's a green light. It's the Monte Carlo Show. It's the Monte Carlo. It's the Monte Carlo Show. It's the Monte Carlo. It's the Monte Carlo Show. It's the Monte Carlo. It's the Monte Carlo Show. It's the Monte Carlo Show.
Hey, listen, before I get out of here again, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, leave your comments, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. Until then, I'm going to catch you on the next one, all right? I'll be back real soon with part 2 of Surviving a Toxic Baby Mama. Shalom.